If you're stuck feeling invisible or trapped by who you are right now, this audiobook gives you a clear 21-day blueprint to completely transform your identity and mindset. Welcome to Audiobook Journey, your masterclass for radical self-improvement. In this 12-chapter journey, you'll discover how to break old patterns, build unstoppable confidence, and reinvent yourself from the inside out. Subscribe now and use the chapter markers to navigate this deep, life-changing transformation with ease. Let's unlock your new self today. Imagine waking up one morning to find the world sees you as a stranger. Not because you've moved away, changed your name, or hidden in the shadows. No, it's deeper than that. You become unrecognizable, not just on the outside, but in your essence, your energy, your entire presence. It's as if you've been rewritten, reborn, and no one can trace the person you used to be. What would it feel like to step into that new version of yourself? To shed the weight of history, expectation, and fear in just welcome to a journey unlike any other, a transformation that goes beyond surface change. This is not a story about disguise or hiding. It's about becoming so radiantly, profoundly different that the old you fades into legend while a powerful new self rises. Are you ready? Because what you're about to hear will pull you beyond limits you never imagined, unlocking the secret to becoming completely unrecognizable in just Chapter 1. The Mirror Shatters. Breaking Identity Illusions. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back wasn't really you? Like there's a stranger trapped behind your eyes, someone living a life shaped by countless voices, expectations and fears that don't belong to your true self. This moment, this feeling of disconnect, is not just frustrating, it is urgent, because the first step to becoming genuinely unrecognizable is to break the mirror that reflects a false identity, to shatter the illusions that bind you to who you think you are. Picture the mirror as a fragile barrier, delicate yet deceptive, holding up an image assembled from years of conditioned beliefs. It echoes the stories your mind has accepted as truth. Stories about your limits, your past mistakes, your worthiness or lack thereof. This reflection has ruled your life silently, dictating your actions and often keeping you confined in patterns that feel impossible to escape. But what if I told you that this mirror, this self-image, is not permanent? What if beneath those cracked reflections lies a raw, untamed potential craving to be set free? This is the moment to lean into discomfort, not to run from the cracks appearing in your self-perception, but to welcome them as openings to freedom. When the mirror shatters, it does not scatter chaos. It releases something purer and infinitely more powerful. You begin to see yourself not as a fixed set of traits, successes, or failures, but as a fluid being with the power to rewrite your story. Imagine your identity dissolving like the morning mist, opening up space for a new dawn, one where you no longer wear the masks forged by doubt and expectation. The illusions that keep you trapped are often subtle. They whisper in moments of doubt, loud enough to stop you, but quiet enough to ignore. They come disguised as "this is just who I am," or "that's the way life is." But listen closely, these are not truths. They are stories told so often they feel real. And like any story, they can be rewritten. Your real self, the core beneath these layers, has been waiting patiently for you to let go of the old script and embrace the unknown. This chapter invites you to meet that unknown with courage, to recognize that your past does not define you, that your failures are not chains, and your fears are not your captors. Instead, they are the cracks in the mirror, signs that something has to break for something greater to emerge. It is through these fissures that transformation seeps in, painful and beautiful all at once. Ask yourself now, what story have you been telling yourself for years? What image do you cling to because it is familiar? Sometimes familiarity feels safe, even when it confines us. But safety at the cost of growth is a cage disguised as comfort. Break free by embracing not knowing. Welcome curiosity like an old friend. Explore your beliefs as if you were seeing them for the very first time. When you challenge what you know about yourself, you open the door to possibilities previously unimaginable. Transformation begins with simple questions that unsettle your inner world, enough to awaken it. What if I am not my mistakes? What if I can change my mind, my habits, my essence? What if the limits I see are just shadows on a wall, illusions cast by fear's fading light? Let these questions linger. They will become the seeds of your liberation. To shatter the mirror means surrendering the illusion of control. Ironically, this surrender gives you the greatest control over your life. The power to decide who you want to be, what you want to stand for, how you want to move in this world. It's the beginning of rewriting your identity from the ground up, with intention and clarity. In this emergence, vulnerability becomes your greatest ally. It takes bravery to witness your broken reflection without judgment, to hold the discomfort without running. But within this vulnerability lies a fierce strength, a raw honesty that connects you deeply with your true self. It is here, in this sacred space of openness, that the transformation truly begins. Throughout this process, you will come face to face with emotions you may have hidden or ignored. Shame, regret, confusion, hope. Each feeling is a guide, not a barrier. Allow them to flow, to teach you about your limits and your potential. Feelings are the pulses of your deeper self, signaling where change is most needed. Remember, breaking the mirror does not mean losing yourself. It means discovering who you were, all along beneath the surface, a self untouched by external narratives, free to become anything. This discovery is the foundation of your 21-day journey, to become unrecognizable not as a form of escape, but as an act of profound creation. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. True transformation starts within. The outer world will shift once the inner world is realigned. The cracks in your mirror are not signs of weakness, but of imminent rebirth. Embrace them. Step boldly into the unknown, and watch as the reflection you feared fades, revealing a presence so compelling it cannot help but be noticed. And now, as this first chapter closes, prepare yourself to enter the next phase. The furnace of change, where discomfort refines and reshapes everything you thought you knew. The path twists deeper, demanding courage and commitment. But if you choose to walk it, you will emerge not just different, but greater. Turn the page with an open heart and steady breath. The transformation has begun. Chapter 2. The Furnace of Change, Embracing Discomfort. Change rarely comes wrapped in softness. It arrives like fire, intense, unrelenting, and often terrifying. From the moment you intentionally begin to shed your old self, you find yourself thrust into a furnace of transformation. This chapter is about stepping into that fire, not to burn, but to be forged anew. Imagine standing before a roaring blaze. The heat presses against your skin, the air thick with smoke and possibility. Your first instinct might be to retreat, to seek shelter in the safety of what you know. But the truth that sets apart those who transform forever is simple. Real change demands discomfort. It demands you stay in the heat long enough for your old self to melt away, leaving behind a stronger, purer form. Discomfort is not a sign you're losing your way. It's the compass of growth. It awakens something primal, like a sculptor chipping away at marble to reveal a masterpiece hidden within. The resistance you feel, the tension that tightens in your chest, is the furnace stoking your evolution. Consider this: every habit you want to break, every fear you want to overcome, has a comfort zone protecting it like a hardened shell. That zone feels safe because it's familiar, but it's also a cage. To become unrecognizable, to truly manifest change, you need to let go of the comfort zone. You must be willing to crawl through the heat that surrounds transformation, knowing it is temporary and essential. It might feel overwhelming. Your mind may rebel with thoughts like "this is too hard" or "I can't handle this." These voices are echoes of your old self trying to cling to control, whispering self-doubt to steer you back to safer shores. Know this: the voice of discomfort does not speak for your soul. It is merely the echo of a story you're done telling. Lean into the discomfort like a trusted guide. When your body aches for escape, when your spirit wavers under the weight of change, remind yourself that growth never favors the comfortable path. It honors the brave footsteps that persist through uncertainty and pain. Take a moment to visualize yourself as iron heated in a blacksmith's fire. The flames lick your edges, threatening to consume you entirely, but if you stand firm, you transform. Your vulnerabilities become strength. Your anxieties soften into resolve. The endless battle between who you were and who you can be turns to quiet confidence. This is the power of the furnace. Now think about everyday life, those moments when discomfort sneaks in. Maybe it's speaking your truth when silence feels easier, or trying something new when fear whispers. Stay put. Each choice to face discomfort is a flicker in the fire, building your resilience and sculpting your identity anew. This chapter isn't just philosophy. It's a call to action. Your journey will test your limits. It will ask you to bear emotional strain and to sit with unease. But with each passing day in this furnace, your transformation solidifies. You don't simply become different. You become stronger, clearer, more alive. Remember the story of the butterfly. Within the cocoon's tight embrace, it struggles, contorts, and fights to be free. That struggle is vital. It forces fluid through its wings, enabling flight. Without the fight, the butterfly would never rise. Your furnace is your cocoon. Let the flames refine you, not destroy you. At times you might want to turn back. When the heat is relentless, it feels as if the old self will never release its hold. This is the exact moment when perseverance matters most. What you're creating is delicate and powerful, a new you, forged from fire, refined by discomfort, radiant in resilience. Through this process, listen deeply to yourself. Discomfort may manifest physically, emotionally, or mentally, but it is always a messenger. It tells you where courage is growing and where resistance still lingers. Meeting this discomfort with curiosity rather than fear transforms the furnace into a sanctuary, a place where destruction becomes creation. Imagine how your life will shift when you choose discomfort over avoidance, challenge over passivity. The world you step into after the fire is unfamiliar. Yes, but it is a world where you hold your own power, not borrowed from others, not limited by past narratives, but born from your own transformation. As you close this chapter, recognize the sacred heat in your journey. It is not punishment or trial. It is the forging of your greatest potential. When you embrace this fire, you step into the alchemy of becoming, your edges sharpened, your spirit ignited, your identity waiting to be born anew. Prepare now to move deeper. The next stage of your transformation calls you to reclaim your voice, to speak from a place untouched by old fears, confident and clear. The furnace has begun to melt barriers. Next, your truth will rise, unshackled and unmistakable. Hold the warmth of change close as you turn the page. Your rebirth is underway, and the fire guides your path forward. Chapter 3. The Silent Rebellion. Reclaiming your voice. There's a moment in every transformation when the noise fades, Not the pleasant kind of silence that calms and soothes, but a silence charged with tension, a stillness pregnant with defiance. It's the quiet before the storm of your true voice breaks free. Imagine standing in a vast, empty room, your breath loud in your ears, the walls waiting to hear what you've been holding back. This is the silent rebellion, the moment you begin to reclaim the voice you lost beneath years of doubt, expectation and fear. For so long, your voice may have been buried beneath external demands. The constant cacophony of others telling you who you should be, how you should act, what you should want. This noise overwhelms the soft stirrings of your authentic self. It silences your truth, numbs your desires, and dims your spirit. But now, as you journey through becoming unrecognizable, you step into a sacred act of resistance, choosing silence not as submission, but as preparation. This silence is not emptiness, it is a gathering of strength. It's the breath you take before shouting, the pause before the first note of a song you thought you'd forgotten how to sing. It's where your inner voice begins to reassemble from fragments, where clarity sharpens in the stillness. To reclaim your voice, you first have to create space for it. This chapter invites you to step into that space fully and without fear. Think of your voice not just as the sound you make, but as the expression of your soul's deepest truth. It is the language of your dreams, the rhythm of your heart, the words spoken beyond words. Reclaiming this voice means reconnecting with who you are beneath the expectations, bold, nuanced, imperfect, and infinitely powerful. Why is this reclamation so urgent? Because when you silence yourself, you give away your power. You become a shadow at the edges of your own life, invisible to the world and to yourself. Your voice is your anchor, your compass, your declaration that you exist on your own terms. Without it, even the most profound transformation risks fading into quiet surrender. But how do you reclaim a voice long muffled? It begins with listening deeply to your inner world. What thoughts have you been afraid to speak? What feelings have been tucked away, shamed, or dismissed? Give those whispers room to breathe. Write them, speak them to yourself, or sit with them in quiet meditation. Let your internal dialogue become honest and fearless. Next, notice where your voice trembles in your daily life. Is it in conversations, decisions, or dreams? Identify the moments you shrink or second-guess yourself. These are the places your silent rebellion begins. Challenge the habit of self-censorship by speaking small truths aloud, phrases of affirmation, boundaries you deserve, desires long ignored. Each act of expression, no matter how modest, needs the fire of your authentic voice. Remember this: reclaiming your voice is a revolutionary act. It shakes the foundations of old identities and unsettles those around you who are comfortable with your silence. Your voice will sometimes be met with resistance or confusion. This is natural. Stand firm. Your words carry the power not only to transform yourself, but to ripple outward, awakening others stuck in their own muted lives. Imagine the exhilaration of speaking your truth for the first time in years, the rush of clarity and the relief as your spirit unfurls. This is freedom incarnate, the reclaiming of self through sound. Your voice doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It simply must be genuine. Authenticity carries a gravity no volume can match. As you begin this silent rebellion, cultivate patience and compassion for yourself. Your voice has been quieted by habit and hardship. It needs time to rise steadily, like dawn easing into day. There will be setbacks, moments when silence feels safer again. When that happens, return to the stillness, listen deeply, and try again. In quiet moments, practice speaking your new voice into existence. Repeat the truths that feel both alien and essential, I am worthy. I am seen. I deserve to be heard. Let these words settle into your being, like seeds planted beneath winter's soil, ready to sprout in their own time. Reclaiming your voice is more than a personal victory. It is the forge of your transformation. It aligns your inner world with your outer presence, broadcasting your evolution to the world without disguise or apology. When you truly speak from your core, you become unrecognizable not by hiding, but by shining with an authenticity impossible to ignore. As this chapter closes, reflect on the silence you have embraced. It is the space where rebellion begins and resilience grows. The voice you reclaim here will carry you forward into new realms of empowerment and connection. Now breathe deeply and prepare for the next step in your transformation, the crafting of new boundaries, the cloak that both protects and showcases the reborn you. Your voice has been rekindled. Soon it will speak louder than ever before. Turn the page. Your authentic self waits to speak, to be seen, to live. Chapter 4. The Cloak of Mystery. Crafting New Boundaries. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest, twilight settling in, shadows stretching long and uncertain. You feel vulnerable, exposed, as if every direction holds risks, eyes and expectations, haunting your every step. What if, instead of walking unshielded into that darkness, you could wrap yourself in an invisible cloak? A cloak woven not from fabric, but from quiet strength, clarity, and unshakable boundaries. This cloak transforms how the world sees you, not as open terrain to be traversed, but as a presence mysterious, protected, and fiercely autonomous. This chapter is about creating that cloak, crafting new boundaries that honor your rebirth and guard the radiant energy you have worked so hard to ignite. To become unrecognizable, you don't just change who you are, you change how you invite the world to interact with you. Boundaries shift from walls built to keep others out to a powerful form of self-respect that shapes your invisible presence. Boundaries are the lines that define your space, physically, emotionally, mentally, and they are the foundation of personal sovereignty. Yet many misunderstand boundaries as limitations or acts of rejection. The truth is far more profound. Boundaries are acts of creation, declarations that your well-being, your values, and your energy are precious. When boundaries are clear, you radiate confidence, mystery, and strength. You become untraceable by old scripts and influence. Think back to times when you felt drained or compromised. Often the root cause was porous boundaries, times when you said yes to appease, stayed silent to avoid conflict, or let others define your worth. Those moments chipped away at your transformation without you realizing it. This chapter invites you to recognize that boundaries are the armor you deserve, not a defense born of fear, but a shield forged in love for yourself. Crafting new boundaries begins with deep self-awareness. What are you willing to accept now that you weren't before? What behaviors, beliefs, or relationships no longer align with the vision of your new self? This is not about punishment or cutting off the world, but about curating your environment with intention. Boundaries are invitations to healthier connections, clearer communication, and deeper respect from others, and, most importantly, from yourself. Imagine your energy as light, brilliant but finite. Without boundaries, that light leaks, dimming your radiance. Boundaries channel your energy, focusing it where it nourishes you and your growth. They allow your essence to glow without burning out. Learning to say no, to pause, or to walk away when something undermines your transformation is the courage that writes a new story for you, one where you are no longer at the mercy of external demands. Setting boundaries can feel risky, even rebellious. You may fear judgment, loss, or loneliness. Yet remember this: every self-respecting boundary you place strengthens the integrity of your transformation. It signals to yourself and the world that you value your evolution so deeply, you won't settle for less. Your cloak of mystery grows with each boundary, turning you into a figure of strength that one can easily unravel. Boundary setting is both an art and a practice. It requires honesty, compassion, and sometimes the willingness to confront discomfort. You might say no to friendships that drain, to work that stifles, or even to thoughts that no longer serve you. Each no is a bold stroke painting the outline of your new identity, distinct, deliberate, and vital. Imagine telling your story through these boundaries without words. Your presence alone communicates. This is who I am now. Space is held around you that others must respectfully navigate. This silent message redefines your relationships and your inner experience. Boundaries create mystery because they invite curiosity while preserving your autonomy. They make you unrecognizable to those expecting the old, familiar you. This process also teaches you to ask powerful questions. What do I need to feel safe, respected, and free? Where am I still merging with others' expectations? How do I honor my limits without guilt or apology? The answers guide you to boundaries that are both firm and fluid, creating balance between connection and independence. In this new dance, boundaries are not barriers but bridges to self-love, to authentic belonging, to expansive freedom. They hold space for your growth, while keeping distractions and drains at bay. In cultivating this cloak, you transform vulnerability into protection, chaos into clarity, exposure into enigmatic strength. As you reflect now, picture your life wrapped in this cloak, where your energy moves deliberately and your spirit commands presence. The cloak is invisible yet undeniable. It empowers you to step boldly into public and private spaces alike, unafraid and untraceable to outdated narratives. Prepare yourself for what comes next, the dance of reinvention. Soon, you will learn to move with intention and rhythm, crafting your new self through action and mindset. The boundaries you've set will be the stage on which your transformation performs a breathtaking new act. As you close this chapter, honor the power of your boundaries. They are not just lines drawn in defense. They are the framework of your rebirth. With these boundaries, you declare to yourself and the universe, I am no longer who I was. I am becoming someone new, mysterious, strong, and irresistibly alive. Turn the page with quiet confidence. Your transformation continues, wrapped in strength, poised to dance into the light. Chapter 5. The Dance of Reinvention, Movement and Mindset. Feel the rhythm in your bones, the silent pulse beneath every breath, every thought, every decision. Transformation is not a static event. It's a dynamic dance between movement and mindset. Imagine your life unfolding like a carefully choreographed performance, each step deliberate, each gesture meaningful. This chapter invites you to step into that dance, to consciously reinvent yourself through the powerful interplay of action and intention. You have broken the mirror. You have stood in the fire. You have reclaimed your voice and crafted your boundaries. Now, it's time to move. Movement here is more than physical. It's symbolic of breaking patterns, disrupting old habits, and engaging fully with your evolving self. Each new action you take sends a signal to your mind and the universe. You are no longer who you were. You are becoming, in real time, a new creation. At the heart of this dance lies mindset. Your beliefs shape your reality far more than you realize. The thoughts you hold, the stories you tell yourself, these create the choreography of your life. A shift in mindset isn't just hopeful thinking. It's the first beat that commands your body and choices to follow. Change your mind, and your movements naturally align with that change. Imagine how a dancer learns a new routine. First comes the mental practice, a visualization of each step. Then, repetition, muscle memory, refining the flow until the movement feels natural, irresistible. Reinvention works the same way. First, you imagine the life you want, the habits, perspectives, emotions that serve your new self. Then you begin moving through your days with intention, practicing behaviors aligned with this vision until they become your instinctive rhythm. Perhaps you find yourself pausing before a negative thought, choosing now to replace it with encouragement. Maybe you choose to speak differently, more kindly, more boldly, or you alter your daily routine to reflect your growth. A new morning ritual, a moment of gratitude, a stretch of courage. Each small act compounds, rippling through your identity and reshaping your being. This dance isn't flawless. There will be missteps, moments when old habits pull at your feet, or doubts cloud your clarity. But even in imperfection, you grow. Every stumble is feedback, every hesitation a cue to refine your steps. What matters is persistence, the willingness to keep moving, to keep aligning your mindset and motion towards your emergence. Real change requires both the inner shift and the outer expression. You cannot sit still and expect transformation to carry you unless your body and mind are engaged in purposeful motion. This engagement sends a powerful message to your subconscious. Change is not a dream. It is a lived reality. As you reinvent yourself through movement, pay attention to the feelings that arise. Joy, uncertainty, pride, fear, they are your partners in this dance. Allow emotions to flow without judgment. They guide your awareness, illuminate your path, and deepen your connection to the newfound self you embody. Reinvention also invites creativity. You are not a replica of your old life with minor tweaks. You are a new artist painting a life yet unseen. Experiment with ways of thinking and acting. Try new habits, express different parts of yourself, and invite novelty fearlessly. Creativity fuels momentum and keeps your dance fresh and alive. Reflect on the metaphors you carry in your mind. Are you stuck imagining yourself as a reluctant actor reading from someone else's script? Or do you see yourself as the director, pivoting scenes, rewriting dialogue, and inventing new roles? This shift in perspective empowers you to lead the dance, not follow it. Movement is also a language, a way to communicate with the world around you without words. How you walk, the energy you carry, the choices you make publicly. These broadcast your transformation. They attract new opportunities, relationships, and experiences aligned with your growth. Consider the butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. Its first flight is a dance of vulnerability and power. It must learn to trust its wings, to trust the new shape of itself. Like the butterfly, your reinvention calls for trust in your evolving self, in the process, and in the dance between your inner and outer worlds. As this chapter draws to a close, remind yourself that transformation is an ongoing performance, not a final act. Each day holds new rhythms and challenges to match. Your commitment to the dance invites continuous evolution and deepening freedom. Look ahead with excitement, for next you will explore the alchemy of your relationships, the connections that either anchor or liberate your new self. The moves you have learned in this chapter will shape how you engage with others, setting the stage for profound shifts in your world. Step forward with grace and intention now. Your dance of reinvention is underway, each movement a powerful declaration. I am becoming unrecognizable, beautifully, unapologetically new. Chapter 6. The Alchemy of Relationships. Transforming connections. Imagine walking through a garden at dawn, the air thick with dew and possibility. Each plant, each branch, is connected to the roots beneath the earth, intertwined in a web of life that supports growth, or, if neglected, allows decay. Your relationships are just like that garden. They nourish you, shape your experiences, and can either anchor your transformation or pull you back into old patterns. This chapter is about the alchemy of relationships, how to transform your connections into sources of strength that align with your new self. As you become unrecognizable, you enter a space few ever dare to explore. Your energy shifts, your presence changes. People around you may feel the difference instantly. Some are drawn closer, curious, and inspired. Others resist, fearful of the unknown or unwilling to witness your transformation. This natural ebb and flow of relationships is a vital part of your journey. The relationships you once held on to tightly may no longer fit the new rhythm you embody. The first step in this alchemy is awareness. Look deeply at your current connections. Which relationships uplift your spirit, encourage your growth, and reflect your emerging self? Which ones drain your energy, stir confusion, or keep you tethered to what you're leaving behind? This inquiry is not about judgment or blame. It's about honoring your transformation by choosing what serves your evolution. Think of relationships as mirrors and magnets. They reflect parts of yourself you may not always want to see, but need to acknowledge. They also attract energies, people, experiences, emotions that resonate with your current state. When you shift from old narratives, your relationships shift too. Some mirrors crack or fog, some magnets lose their pull. This natural realignment is a sign you're moving on the right path. Let go of the fear that releasing relationships means losing connection or love. True connection honors growth and change. Sometimes love looks like allowing space, understanding silence, or redefining bonds in healthier ways. Other times, love is setting distance, protecting your energy to flourish freely. Both forms of love require courage and honesty. The alchemy of relationships is also about transformation from within your interactions. As you deepen into your authentic self, your communication transforms. Conversations become clearer, more vulnerable, and more intentional. You begin to express limits kindly but firmly, and listen with new compassion for yourself and others. This clarity invites others to meet you in your truth, or shows who isn't ready to walk beside your growth. Imagine the ripple effect of this transformation. When you change how you relate, you not only affect your own garden, but also invite others to tend theirs. You become a catalyst for collective growth, inspiring authenticity and resilience. This is the power of alchemy. The old dissolves, and new connections sparkle with possibility. Resistance is expected. Some relationships may resist transformation because they are anchored in patterns resistant to change. Witness this with grace. Understand that their struggle is not your burden to carry. Your role is to stand steady in your evolution, knowing that your peace does not depend on others' acceptance. Practice discernment as a vital tool. Discernment is the wisdom to know when to step closer or step back. It is an act of respect for yourself and others. Trust your intuition. It speaks to your deepest needs and boundaries, guiding you toward connections that feed your soul. Transformation in relationships is a pilgrimage of sorts. It asks you to revisit old wounds with new eyes, to forgive not just others but yourself for patterns you once didn't know how to break. This healing deepens your capacity to love and be loved in ways that honor growth, not stagnation. Embrace the paradox that some endings in relationships are beginnings. The closing of one door often reveals a new path, planted with fresh connections, aligned with your truth. This creates a community rooted not in familiarity alone, but in the authenticity of shared transformation. As you walk this path, cultivate gratitude for every soul who has crossed your way, the teachers, the challengers, the companions. Each played a role in crafting the self you are becoming. Their presence, or absence, shapes the alchemy that refines your spirit. Now, prepare to explore what waits beneath the surface, the shadow self that dances in the dark corners of your being. Facing these hidden parts will deepen your transformation, making your new self even more resilient and unrecognizable from the past you once knew. Hold the wisdom of this chapter close. Your transformation is mirrored in the quality of your relationships. Nurture those that nourish you. Release with love those that don't. And trust that the alchemy of connection is continually unfolding, guiding you toward a richer, freer life. Turn the page with openness and courage. Your journey grows richer still. Chapter 7. The Shadow Walk. Facing the hidden self. There is a part of you few dare to visit, a hidden corridor where shadows linger long and quiet, out of sight but not out of presence. It is here, in this shadowed realm, that the deepest truths about who you are and who you have been wait patiently for your courageous gaze. To become unrecognizable, to truly transform, you must embark on this shadow walk. It is a journey inward, a confrontation with the parts of yourself that have been hidden, ignored, or feared. Imagine stepping into a dense forest at twilight. The path is uncertain, the underbrush thick with memories best forgotten. But you carry a lantern, your courage, your honesty, your willingness to face discomfort in pursuit of truth. Every step illuminates a fragment of your shadow self, old wounds, fears that whisper of failure, doubts that weave silent chains, and desires buried beneath layers of shame or neglect. This chapter invites you to meet these shadows, not with judgment, but with curiosity and compassion. The shadow self isn't a villain to be defeated. It is a sacred part of your wholeness, holding keys to healing and transformation. It is often invisible because it carries pain and vulnerability you have protected fiercely. But when brought into light, this self becomes a source of tremendous power and wisdom. Think back on moments when invisible forces held you back, patterns repeating like echoes, fears sabotaging your progress, emotions that felt too complex to face. These are the shadows whispering beneath your conscious mind. You can no longer afford to shy away from them if you want to evolve beyond recognition. The shadow walk asks you to sit with this discomfort, to allow every hidden part of you to be seen and felt. This journey requires bravery, not measured by absence of fear, but by the choice to proceed despite it. The shadow speaks in many languages. Anger, sorrow, guilt, anxiety, and all demand your listening. What stories does your shadow carry? What old beliefs about yourself no longer serve? What wounds long to be healed? Facing these questions honestly is the foundation of profound transformation. The shadow self also holds the parts of your potential hidden beneath the debris of past pain. Every fear mirrors a buried desire. Every wound conceals the seed of strength. Embracing your shadow is like mining gold from darkness, uncovering the riches of authenticity that light alone could never reveal. Imagine the relief of exhaling burdens held tightly for years. As you acknowledge each hidden piece, the weight lifts, and peace begins to settle. This process does not erase your shadow, but integrates it, allowing it to stand beside your light as a balanced part of your whole self. In this balance lies freedom. Shadow work is neither quick nor easy. It's a slow dance between confrontation and acceptance, between unraveling and weaving anew. There will be moments of discomfort and despair, but also moments of tenderness and insight that deepen your transformation. It is the silent, steady work that anchors your growth in reality rather than illusion. You are not alone on this walk. Every person who transforms must pass through these shadowed woods. It is a universal journey, timeless and necessary. Knowing this can offer comfort, a reminder that the darkness is not a place of exile, but a sacred chamber of renewal. As you move through your shadows, practice gentle self-compassion. Release blame, guilt, or shame that may arise. These are the traps that keep shadows hidden. Instead, offer understanding to the wounded parts of yourself, as you would to a friend lost in pain. This kindness opens new pathways toward healing. Reflection is a powerful tool here. Journaling your discoveries, speaking your truths aloud, or meditating in quiet space can reveal unseen patterns and invite clarity. Trust your intuition as it guides you deeper, and know when to pause and care for yourself with rest and renewal. This shadow walk leads to transformation far richer than external changes alone. It grounds your new self in authenticity so profound that no shock or stress can dissolve it. Your identity becomes unshakable, rooted in a union of light and dark, strength and vulnerability, known and unknown. As this chapter closes, see your shadow not as an enemy, but as an ancient guardian of your soul's hidden paths. Walking with it equips you to face life's challenges with courage and grace, fully embodied in your reborn self. Prepare now to rise into expression. The coming chapter will guide you to speak your truth clearly and powerfully, stepping fully into the new identity forged in shadow and light. Turn the page. Your shadow walk has begun, and the dawn is waiting. Chapter 8. The Language of Light. Expressing the New You. There comes a moment in transformation when silence is no longer enough, a moment when the newfound self demands to be spoken, declared, and lived aloud. Imagine the sun rising after a long night, breaking through thick clouds, scattering shadows with brilliant rays. Your words have the power to do just that. They are the language of light, the vibrant expression of your rebirth, and the bridges that connect your inner truth to the outer world. This chapter invites you to wield that language with intention, clarity, and creative power. Expression isn't merely about communication. It is the art of embodying who you have become. Every sentence you speak, every word you write, every story you tell shapes the reality you inhabit. When your language aligns with your truth, it transforms from a mere tool into a force of creation. It births new possibilities, invites respect, and radiates the energy of your unrecognizable self. Think about how your words have served you until now. Have they reinforced old doubts and fears, or uplifted and empowered the new you? Often we unconsciously rehearse narratives that no longer fit. Phrases like, "I'm not enough," or "this is just how I am." To reinvent doesn't just require new actions, but a new vocabulary, a language rich with possibility, hope, and unshakable belief in your growth. Begin by noticing the stories you tell yourself and others. Are they stories of limitation or expansion? Are they harsh judgments or gentle truths? Shifting this internal narrative is the cornerstone of your external transformation. Speak to yourself as you would to a cherished friend, with kindness, encouragement, and unwavering faith. Your speech creates a frame around your identity. When you say, "I am growing every day," or "I am worthy of love and success," you don't just describe reality, you declare your intent and invite the world to reflect that truth back to you. These words become powerful affirmations that reinforce the bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. Expression also demands authenticity. Speak from the depths of your being, not the surface mask shaped by past conditioning. Authentic speech may feel vulnerable at first, because it is, but vulnerability is a light that shines brightest when you are fearless in revealing it. It draws people to you in genuine ways and solidifies your connection to your true self. Your body participates in this language. Notice the tone, pace, and energy behind your words. When your voice carries confidence and warmth, It aligns with your message. This harmony between voice and word becomes a magnetic force, impossible to ignore. Your presence commands attention, not because of volume, but because of the truth behind each syllable. Imagine the ripple effect of changing your language. Conversations shift from anxiety to inspiration. Relationships deepen with honesty. Opportunities emerge where before there were barriers. This transformation in expression creates a new social reality tailored to your evolved self. Creativity plays a vital role in this process. Play with metaphors, stories, and images that resonate with your new identity. Write letters to your future self. Compose affirmations or craft personal mantras that capture your essence. These creative acts ingrain your transformation deeply in your consciousness. Honesty, however, does not mean harshness. Choose words that uplift rather than diminish. Practice patience with yourself. As you learn this new language, transformation is a dance. Sometimes your words will stumble, but the intent behind them will keep you moving forward. Reflection is a necessary companion in this chapter. Pause regularly to consider the impact of your words. Do they serve the growth you seek? Are they building bridges or walls? Make adjustments with grace and determination. The language of light also extends beyond words into actions, choices, and presence. When your speech is backed by congruent behavior, your transformation becomes undeniable. Others see, hear, and feel the powerful new narrative you live by. As this chapter closes, let your words become the dawn breaking through your past, illuminating paths to new horizons. Your voice is a beacon, shining brightly to guide you and those around you toward fuller expression and deeper connection. Prepare yourself now for the next step, building resilience, the invisible armor that will protect your transformation as life tests your newfound truths. With each word spoken, you become more unrecognizable, more radiant, and unmistakably free. Turn the page and keep speaking your truth. Your language of light is the signature of your rebirth. Chapter 9. The Invisible Armor. Cultivating Inner Resilience. Imagine walking through a storm, rain pelting your face, wind clawing at your clothes, lightning fracturing the sky above. Yet, in the midst of the chaos, you stand unshaken. How? Because beneath your skin lies an invisible armor forged through trials, tenderness, and unwavering resolve. This armor is resilience, the quiet, powerful strength that shields your transformation from the storms life will inevitably send your way. Transformation is not a straight line. It is a winding path, full of highs and lows, excitement and exhaustion, leaps forward, and moments of doubt. As you become unrecognizable, old forces will rise to challenge your growth: fear, criticism, failure, or the pull of comfort's familiar cage. Without inner resilience, the temptation to retreat or revert can become overwhelming. This chapter is your blueprint for building that resilience, not the brittle kind, but flexible, compassionate, and enduring. Resilience is not about suppressing vulnerability. It is about embracing it as part of your strength. It grows when you learn to dance with discomfort instead of fleeing, to rise after every fall with firmer footing. Consider the story of the ancient oak, battered by seasons yet standing tall, its roots growing deeper with each storm. Your armor is like those roots, a foundation anchored not in avoidance of pain, but in acceptance that pain is part of growth. This acceptance transforms suffering into wisdom and struggle into power. Begin cultivating resilience by cultivating presence. When challenges come, meet them fully. Acknowledge your fear or frustration without judgment. This radical self-honesty prevents energy from leaking into denial or resistance, freeing you to respond rather than react. Resilience thrives in the space between stimulus and response, where mindful choice lives. Next, nurture your physical and emotional well-being. Just as armor must be maintained, your body and mind need care, movement, rest, nourishing food, and moments of stillness all feed your reservoir of strength. Emotional self-care, seeking connection, expressing feelings, setting boundaries is equally vital. Resilience is a whole body, whole spirit endeavor. Remember that seeking help is not weakness, but wisdom. True armor allows collaboration, not solitary struggle. Surround yourself with allies who support your growth, who remind you of your power when your vision dims. Connection fortifies your capacity to withstand adversity. Practice reframing obstacles as opportunities. Each difficulty carries lessons that expand your understanding and deepen your courage. Train your mind to ask, "What can I learn here?" rather than, "Why me?" This practice rewires your nervous system to lean into challenge with curiosity instead of dread. Resilience also requires flexibility, the ability to bend without breaking. Life's storms change in shape and strength. Being rigid in expectations or responses makes you brittle. Cultivate adaptability by embracing uncertainty, improvising solutions, and trusting your inner guidance. Invite grace into your journey. Grace for yourself when progress feels slow or setbacks occur. Resilience flourishes not in perfection, but in persistence fueled by compassion. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small, as victories building your unshakable self. Imagine your transformation as a forge. The fire tests you, the hammer shapes you, the cooling tempers you. Your armor is the product of this sacred alchemy, a blend of toughness and tenderness, courage and care. With it, you move through life's storms, not untouched, but invincible. As this chapter closes, carry this truth. Resilience is your birthright, inherent and cultivatable. It is the foundation that will hold you steady in the face of all tests, the invisible garment that makes your new self unmistakable and unassailable. Prepare now for the next stage of your journey, the radiant rise, the moment when all your inner work manifests in blazing freedom and unstoppable presence. Your invisible armor sets the stage for this glorious emergence. Turn the page with steady breath and open heart. Your resilience propels you forward. The dawn of your transformation awaits. Chapter 10. The Phoenix Rises. Living unrecognizably free. Close your eyes for a moment and envision a blazing fire consuming the worn, the old, and the familiar. A fire that does not destroy, but transforms. From these ashes emerges the phoenix, radiant and reborn, wings spread wide against the dawn. This is your moment. After days of transformation, struggle, and profound change, you stand ready to rise, unrecognizably free, fully alive, and fiercely authentic. This chapter is more than a close to your journey. It is a celebration and a beginning. The core message here is simple, yet profound. True freedom comes from embracing your rebirth with courage, grace, and unwavering presence. You have dismantled old identities, faced shadows, forged resilience, and crafted your voice and boundaries. Now it is time to embody this transformation fully, not as an act, but as a living, breathing reality. The phoenix does not fear its fire, because it knows that the flames renew rather than consume. Your challenges, doubts, and fears, the very elements you faced in the furnace of change, are no longer obstacles, but fuel for your flight. In this rebirth, you carry their lessons like feathers in your wings, each one adding strength to your soaring flight. Living unrecognizably free means releasing the need for external validation. Your worth is no longer dependent on others' recognition, but rooted deep within, grounded in self-respect, authenticity, and the unshakable knowledge of your own transformation. This freedom means choosing yourself daily, even when it feels hard or lonely, because you know that your soul's calling surpasses all fear. Picture how life changes when you no longer fit the mold that once contained you. Doors open where walls stood. New paths appear where uncertainty lingered. Opportunities and relationships align spontaneously like magnets drawn to your luminous energy. Your presence becomes a force of nature, impossible to ignore, impossible to confine. This new existence asks you to live with radical presence. Let go of distractions and doubts that pull you backward. Lean fully into each moment, each choice, knowing that your transformation is not a one-time event, but a continuous unfolding. Each day is an invitation to fly higher, to explore more deeply, and to shine brighter. The Phoenix's rise also honors vulnerability, the openness to fall and rise again, to embrace imperfection while knowing your essence remains pure and powerful. Your freedom is not perfection, but wholehearted engagement with life's messiness. It is grace under pressure and joy amidst uncertainty. As you embody this freedom, remember that your transformation is a gift not just to yourself, but to the world. Your courage to change whispers encouragement to others, still in their own crucibles. Your life becomes a beacon, silently inviting those ready to break their own mirrors and rise anew. Now embrace the responsibility that freedom brings. It calls you to lead with integrity, to serve with humility, and to love without reservation. As you move forward, your choices ripple outward, shaping realities far beyond your immediate sphere. Your transformation is both a personal triumph and a collective blessing. Before closing this chapter, take a moment to honor how far you have come. Feel the power within you, the phoenix wings spreading wide, ready to soar. This is not a final destination, but a new beginning, a life authored by your deepest truths, unbounded by past narratives. Prepare yourself for endless chapters, yet unwritten, each day an opportunity to choose freedom, to reinvent, to rise. The journey continues, expansive and thrilling, fueled by the fire that now lives within you. Turn the page with wings open wide. Your phoenix rise is here. Fly boldly into the limitless sky of your new life.